Hey there, this is Rob from Southgate Media Group. The following podcast was recorded during the SMG Podcast Marathon at Indy PopCon 2018 in Indianapolis, Indiana. This podcast marathon was 10 hours long and featured 19 podcasts covering a wide variety of geek-centric topics. Before we jump into the episode, I want to thank our amazing sponsors for this SMG Podcast Marathon. Without you, it would not have been nearly as cool. Links to our sponsors can be found in the show notes and at our website, southgatemediagroup.com. First of all, thank you to Tango Comics for the exceptional event poster. Thanks to our banner sponsors, Passion Nerdly Podcasts, Tome Travelers Podcast, Kinda Nerdy News with KJ Podcast, Movie Madness Podcast, Ed Maudlin and the Maudlin Realty Group, Very Dark, Very Quick Podcast, Advanced TV Herstory Podcast, Seriously? Let's Play Podcast, Dice Voyeurs Podcast, The Masks of Nyarlathotep Podcast, The Crit Show Podcast, The Amazing LARP Chronicles of the Realm, Midnight Matinees Podcast, The Blue Box Cafe in Elgin, Illinois, Otherworld Theater in Chicago, Illinois, the This Week in Geek Podcast, live at the Blue Box Podcast, the Binge-Worthy Podcast, and SMG Microcons. A special thanks to the Bonus Hours Podcast Network for sponsoring our free charging station. There would have been a lot of dead devices without your support. And finally, thanks to the sponsors of our program, the Bonus Hours Podcast Network, featuring the podcast Between the Profound and Profane, Kinda Nerdy News with KJ, The Crit Show, an actual play podcast, Very Dark, Very Quick, the podcast, PassionNerdly.com, featuring the podcasts Dice Voyeurs and Tome Travelers, the Kevin Long Show podcast, and finally, the upcoming book, Pod Life, Podcaster's Stories. And there we go, the plugs are done. Enjoy the show.
Hey, Indy PopCon, welcome to This Week in Geek. Those of you that were at the podcast marathon yesterday, you heard it there, but you're hearing it again now. Oh, hey, I was projecting, you can hear me. Welcome to This Week in Geek at Indy PopCon. I'm Rob Southgate. With me is
a little Lisa
and
Chris Mao.
And with us is our DJ Feedback. Yeah. Okay, I got to laugh for myself. Are you ready for us? Are we good? Yeah. We're good. All right. So what we do on this show is we kind of talk out the geek news and mainly make fun of each other. So if you got something to say to us, say it. We may ignore it. All right. What do we got to start with? I got one to start with.
All right.
I'm not going to start with something depressing like yesterday.
Thank you.
Do you want to give your social media first?
Sure. You can follow me on Twitter at the League of Geeks podcast, and that's LOGEEKZ, because that's Geeks with a Z.
And you can follow this show at SMG_TWIG, This Week in Geek. Get it? And then Chris?
And I can be found at theblueboxcafe.com and Blue Box Cafe on social media.
And all of our stuff is at Southgate Media Group. You can go to the website, southgatemediagroup.com. Find us on iTunes and Stitcher and Spotify and Google Play. And find us on Live at the Blue Box. Find us everywhere. We're everywhere. All right. First bit of news I have, I just read it. I don't know if this is old news, but it sounds like they're not really jumping into doing Defenders 2 on Netflix. Did you read this?
I did not.
No,
yeah, they were talking about how in the second season of Iron Fist, Danny Rand is going to get the corrected costume because we haven't had that yet. And they said, well, what are the plans for Defenders? And they said there's no plans. So that's too bad. I just literally binged Defenders in the last couple weeks, and I liked it quite a bit. So I think that's a series that could have legs. I think they could tell a better story than they did about the Hand.
Well, I agree with that. I think the thing is the Netflix Marvel Universe, if it goes further than Season 3 of Daredevil, Season 2 of Luke Cage.
Right. Because of the Disney Channel thing.
Right. I think they'll evolve it into something else instead of just the Defenders. So there might be a show
like
that
a Heroes for Hire
together, or Heroes for Hire. And I think that's some of the angles that they're going to be looking at. similar to what they're doing now with like Avengers. I mean, you've got the Guardians of the Galaxy and everything. They're not officially Avengers, but they're in this movie.
Right.
Will Defenders be that tentpole, or will it become something else? If they do a Ghost Rider series, a Moon Knight series, with the Punisher.
Yeah, and we just don't know at this point with how this is up in the air because of that Disney Channel thing.
Right.
I'm anxious to see it. Now, DC's launching its channel thing. So, I mean, Disney might say, yeah, let's pull everything and just put it on here and go head-to-head with that DC thing.
Yeah. For sure. I think that's a big thing. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, because they're going to do another season of everybody's shows leading up, which is great. It would make sense that they might do a Defenders, but maybe they just don't. Like you guys were saying, they just don't. They haven't solidified it to see. What are the contracts for those guys?
Yeah, I have no
do they
idea.
only have 4 years on their contract, so they can only do 3 of their own and 1 Defenders? And maybe they can't afford it after that. Who knows?
Yeah, right. Maybe that's all they did. Well, I also think watching the Defenders, I really felt that they were setting us up for Heroes for Hire. So maybe that's the route they go. They do a mini series of their other types of team ups.
Well, and I also think that some of these shows have had a real different kind of take on them. Like with Luke Cage, it's going to be really a different type of show for him to have Danny Rand in there with him. I can't wait for season 2, which is coming out. I think it's this week. And
Luke Cage is June 22nd.
Is it the end of the month? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was early June, but I think kind of making it like a real street level show, it's hard to kind of bring in the group needed to to be brought together for that big event.
Right.
Like with the Avengers movies, aliens are coming in, get everybody going. Defenders, they had the hand. It kind of felt forced, even though I liked it. It just felt forced that they were all there together.
Yeah, it did feel forced. And actually, once again, I did like it quite a bit. I had a fun time with it. I kind of felt Daredevil 2 was where they were forcing that. They were forcing the hand. Terrible. And I think that really that was just a setup for Defenders. And then Defenders, it was a little weak in that respect. I think they were weak with the Sigourney Weaver character. I thought they were setting her up nicely, and then boom, I'm like, well,
Right.
not so great. You know what they should have done at that point is had the Mandarin show up, and you could have gone like, whoa, like they could have course corrected all that Mandarin stuff very easily at that point. Would have been interesting.
True.
So what other news we got? You wanted to talk about stuff.
I want to talk about the new Halloween trailer.
Oh, yeah. Anyone see that Halloween trailer?
Anyone?
So
It's awesome, wasn't it?
Awesome, wasn't it?
What I love about the new Halloween trailer is the fact that they have, in a sense, retconned 2 through the Rob Zombie movies as like ghost stories. It's all myth and legend of Michael Myers. Like all he's done in his now 61 years, because he will be 61 years old when this movie comes out, which is crazy. He's an elderly man who's wearing the mask and
Elderly.
people.
61 is not elderly. He's an older guy. Otherwise, we got to start calling Chris elderly.
Wait.
60 yet.
In 2 weeks, you'll be close.
But I just think it's kind of crazy, seeing that they went that way. But I love the idea because it brings it back to the original reason why we were so scared of him in that first Halloween was he was just a crazy guy.
We didn't know anything about him.
He was the Shape.
Yeah.
And now that he's back to being the Shape,
Right.
I think it opens up that door to be scared because
Now, since it is a sequel to 1, 2 is tied so much to 1. Do you think they're going to start it off with the moment he falls out the window and then go on?
That's the plan, yeah. Because they're saying that the things that we know in 2 are myths and legend. Because they even brought that in the trailer. They're like, oh, wasn't he your grandmother's brother? And it's like, no, that was a myth. So it's going to be things that happened.
So that's how they're going to retcon it. Just everything's a myth other than that first.
Exactly. All he did was kill those 3 kids on Halloween night in the first, and then they're starting it from there. And he's coming back to Haddonfield. Why, we don't know. He's coming back for Jamie Lee. Why, we don't know.
I'm telling you, if you watch that trailer, it looks like he's just trying to relive that night. Whatever got in his psyche, he keeps trying to relive it over and over. It's what happened in the first one. He killed his sister, and then he came back, and he was reliving that night. Now he's got more pieces to the puzzle, so he's reliving it even further. Yeah. Maybe we will. I hope we don't find out anything. I hope he's just a monster.
Right.
And since Carpenter was involved in this one, I have a feeling it's going to stay just a monster.
Which is what Carpenter wanted. He did not like that they made them brother and sister. He did not like the added mythology there because it doesn't make him scary to everyone.
Right.
Like, I'm not scared then of Michael Myers. I'm not related to him. But now, he could be stalking anyone.
Right. Anybody, anywhere.
Well, the crazy thing about especially the first movie and seeing it when I was, 12 or 13, and it was scary, is that there was that evil that nobody else recognized until it came out. Like, the first third of the movie, you don't really know he's scary other than you know that as the viewer that he's the bad guy because he runs into kids. It really isn't, when he runs into the kids that are trick-or-treating. For the kids, that's not scary. It might be creepy, but it's not a scary thing.
Right.
But
they don't know he's got a knife and he's going to slit throats.
But as an audience, there's the bad guy. What's he going to do? And there's that suspense, and I think they're capturing that again in this movie, which is good.
I agree.
A lot of time has passed, so what are the little kids going to know? They're not going to know anything. And then we talked about that closet scene a couple of times between ourselves. That's awesome. You know exactly what's going to happen, and it's still scary.
Do you think he's going to just, like, in this one, in the first one he only killed, 3? Do you think in this one he's just going to go on a rampage? Or is it going to be really confined, and if they were just smart enough to get out of the house, they'd be okay? What do you think?
I think it's going to be a more intimate and terrifying movie. So, yes, like, he's there in that bedroom scene. He's there to kill. But we see him running into the kids. He's not out there just it's not slaughtering time. It's not like Jason was in Freddy vs. Jason at that party in the barn.
Right.
Where he's just out murdering. That's not the type of killer Michael Myers is. It's the type of killer that they try to make him become outside of Carpenter's hands. But I think in this movie, it's that more intimate feel. It's why it's more terrifying to you.
Right.
And he really only kills the girl, basically the girl and the boy that are hooking up, right? Isn't that who he kills all the time? Does he kill anybody outside of that
Souls and he kills the guy with the glasses.
Well, I'm just saying he kills the people that were acting like his sister and the boyfriend did.
Right.
In the
which is why I say he's just acting out the same story over and over.
And maybe that's where he's stuck in his whatever it is, his OCD or psychosis. That's what he despises. That's what triggered him. So he sees that and then he goes.
It's crazy though, because when you see him in that thing in the prison yard and he's chained up, and they've got that tape marked off, and he's that isolated, you wonder, like, if all he really did was attack people that were living that same thing over and over, what did he do at this prison? I mean, is he eating fingers? Is he just, or is it just literally he's a monster, they keep him at bay? It's an interesting thought.
Right.
I'm very curious to see where this goes.
I am too.
So.
Plus, he's going out and he may not know it, but he's being hunted as well. Because she even states in the trailer, I'm going after him.
Right.
So he's not just doing his thing and then reacting. He's actually going to be the prey, or kind of the prey in the movie. Because she looks ready to take him out, and that's why she's shooting. That's why.
She's locked and loaded for sure.
Speaking of the prey, did you guys see the new trailer for the Predator movie?
I did. I don't care for it.
I can't tell. It's funny. I really liked Predators. I really liked the one that Robert Rodriguez did. And this one, I can't tell yet. Some of it I was like, yes, I'm all in. And then some of it I was like, already not in during the trailer. This could be one that, I don't know if it's going to own us, but we might really enjoy it once it finally comes out. It could be that the trailer's a bit of a misstep.
Well, I do think they're trying to go back to the 80s action flick heart to the movie rather than getting into this whole Predator mythology.
Right. Although I would like them to do the mythology. I thought Predators was a good start.
I think we're going to get a little bit of that. I just,
they're trying to go back to him being this monster that comes from space and hunts.
And that's where I think, but that again, just
how
like
many
we're
times
talking
can you
with
tell that
Halloween,
story?
But again, just like we're getting with Halloween, that's what we like, though.
Right.
Yeah, but for some reason the Halloween one completely works, and the Predator one I can't tell.
Yeah, but you're trying to. I think you can kind of undo the Halloween stuff because you can reboot it and go back to that point in time. Part of the original Predator was Schwarzenegger was doing his Schwarzenegger stuff. Jesse the Body was being crazy. Who played Duke? You have some really great, like, iconic characters that are actually playing off because you don't see the Predator in much of the movie. I mean, you see him, you get the hint of him, but he isn't revealed till when? Halfway in? If that? I mean, halfway when you have that fight. So the Predator legend isn't really the movie where
Right.
In Halloween, it's right away.
Yeah, from the
you're
moment
scared
it starts.
of him right away.
Right.
In the other movie, and Predator isn't technically a bad guy. He's just trying to survive and doing what he does, which is hunt things. We just happen to be there, or he happens to land on Earth. So,
No, I'm with you.
There was a little backpedaling this week. I don't know if you read this, but Solo, which you guys have seen, I have not yet. I don't know how you guys feel about it. It's weird. A lot of my friends online are saying they loved it, and then a little didn't. And then I also read a lot of people that are like hating on it, but I can't tell if they actually saw it. Did you guys see this movie? Did you like it? No. So Ron Howard, back just before it came out, there were all these articles about how they were saying, yeah, this is going to be a trilogy. We've got plans. We're doing this thing. It's moving forward. Ron Howard's directing number 2. All that. Now Ron Howard is backpedaling and saying, oh, no, there's nothing concrete about that. So I guess the poor box office has affected it, although now he's saying, yeah, no, we're definitely talking about a Lando Calrissian movie with Childish Gambino.
Yeah, with Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Which,
spoiler, Donald Glover is Childish Gambino. Spoiler.
and he's awesome.
Spoiler, yeah.
No, his character as Lando in the movie basically saved most of the movie to be watchable.
Okay.
In my opinion,
But Chris, you liked the movie, so
I did.
Did you love Lando?
Yeah, I thought he was great. I thought it was. I mean, was it over the top a little bit? Yeah, but it was.
Why are
I
people
liked
so upset about it not
upset.
being Harrison Ford when they're not upset it's not Billy D. Williams?
Right.
Isn't that weird?
See, I thought the movie captured his essence while changing it up a little bit. And are there problems? Yeah, but it's the Star Wars universe, and I enjoyed it. I also understand Lil's objections. We talked about it on one of our shows. They're very valid points. I don't want to say I was able to. I just chose to look past them and just say, hey, this is an enjoyable ride, and let's go. And I think they could make more of them as long as their budget isn't $400 million because they can't make it with that.
Well, they had to spend a fortune, too, because they basically shot 3/4 of the movie and then went back and reshot
3/4
of the movie.
Right.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
I mean, it happens. I mean, Superman Returns budget was that because...
Oh, but we got just an
other
Oscar
movies.
winner there.
True.
I actually like that movie. Everyone hates on it. I like that one.
Superman Returns is
Yeah.
not
Bad.
good.
No, it gets really bad at points, but I liked it. I had fun watching it.
See, where if they went
Bryan
more...
Singer is not good.
Not good. If they did the second one and showed how he and Chewie evolved, because spoiler, he meets Chewie. his
Superman and
companion.
Chewie? That'd be
No,
awesome.
Talking about Han Solo, I think they could make a really decent movie that would do well, but they just kind of, you can see that it's hodgepodge together, that they reshot it and it didn't flow the way it could have.
Agreed.
Agreed.
I mean, I just think I think eventually we will get some sequel pieces out of it, but it won't be Han Solo sequel. It might be that character, Alden Ehrenreich, playing Han Solo, but in other movies.
In other movies,
at
sure.
This time.
Where Han Solo is needed, he's there.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they'll be in a Boba Fett movie, or if they do a
That makes
Jabba
sense. Although I'm
movie
telling you,
or whatever.
The Han Solo story lends itself to multiple films.
Right.
You could really have a lot of fun with that because it until you get to the point of episode 4, there's a lot that can be said and done.
Yeah.
But I mean,
we might not see that.
We're talking about making a movie out of a guy that had 5 or 6 lines in the original trilogy. I mean, Boba Fett, and in reality, the first half of the middle 3 or of 4, 5, and 6, Han Solo is barely more than a side character in the movie. He really isn't the main focus. This is the story about Luke and Leia to some point.
Hey, he got a medal at the end.
Right.
Poor
I mean,
Chewie.
but he was there, and he contributed, but it's not that he is this epic character to the story, and he's kind of evolved into that. So
I still don't understand that. Why didn't Chewie get a medal?
She couldn't reach. She's like,
he's got a big
Wait,
head.
he can't bend over?
Chris didn't get a medal at our last thing. No, she.
I'm sad.
Yeah, she couldn't reach. I don't know. She gave him one on the MTV Awards.
There you go.
See, there you go.
I don't know. I think I think the rebellion is anti-Chewtite.
Anti-Wookiee.
Wookiee.
Anti-Wookite.
Good. That's horrible.
Yeah.
They're called Wookiees. There's no Wookite.
So, Alil, yesterday when we were doing This Week in Geek for the 12 minutes that we had, you had mentioned E3 news. Have you read anything today?
I have not had a chance to yet.
Okay, I guess I'm going to have to scan through. Let's see if I can find anything. There are Stranger Things books coming. I don't know if that's big news. Big news for you? You love Stranger Things? So do I. There are books coming, a whole book series. You know how many are going to be in that series? 11. Get it? I got to laugh. It wasn't real. Okay. All right, E3. I'm looking up E3 news.
All right, well, while you're looking up E3 news, because we only talked for like 5 minutes yesterday, there was another trailer that came out for an animated movie. I know a lot of people out here probably be excited for it. Spider-Man is getting an animated movie coming out in December, and it's going to be starring Miles Morales' version of Spider-Man from that universe, which is pretty awesome, and it's going to be the Spider-Verse movie, where we've already gotten clips of Spider-Gwen at the very end of it. We've gotten Peter Parker Spider-Man teaching Miles how to be Spider-Man, and I am super excited about a Spider-Verse movie, especially with the lead of Miles Morales, because I thought his character in the comics has been great. Prior to like the merging of the universes, I thought he was a fantastic character on his own, and a great retelling of Spider-Man for everyone.
All right, I got E3 news. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
It looks exciting, and when we talked about it yesterday, I forgot how choppy it looked when I saw it the first time, and it's got that choppy, but it also is a fairly decently realistic cartoon
it's
version.
An awesome
it looks good.
Stylized animation, and I love the dynamic that they really played out in the trailer between
You're talking
Miles
Spider-Verse.
and his father. Yeah, Miles and his
I
father.
loved it. I loved
the
it.
3D animation, the 3D aspect of this looks fantastic.
Oh yeah,
So,
when they go into that stylized form, it's really it's kind of like a whole mishmash of all the different types of animation going on, kind of like a Big Hero 6 kind of animation mixed in with like that cell shading stuff.
I was also completely surprised by the Spider-Gwen reveal. I don't know about you, but I was really excited when I saw that. I think that's a great character, and I think it opens us up to actually doing the Spider-Verse and not just calling it this.
Yeah, I agree. I need Spider-Ham to be in it, though.
Yes. Who doesn't? All right, I got E3 news.
Okay, go for it.
So the first thing that I was handed by Feedback the DJ here was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order revealed, and the new Clone Wars content coming to Star Wars Battlefront. So the big news there is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I hope this is sweet. There could be some cool stuff there.
So is that a whole new game, or is the Fallen Order going to be an addition to the Battlefront?
Whole new game.
I like that because I'm sick of the upgrades to games.
Right.
Current games. Like
give me something.
The Battlefront upgrades, I don't care about. They've already ruined that game and have upset me about that series. I play it because I play it with my friends, but Battlefront is not fantastic.
Right.
But giving me a new Star Wars game where maybe we're world building, I'm
Now,
liking the Jedi Order. I like
I'm going to
that.
have to find out. This is actually tied to something else I wanted to bring up. But a friend of mine from high school wrote one of these, but I don't know which one. He spent 3 years writing with LucasArts on one of these Star Wars games. And actually, this was something I wanted to bring up on the show before we get back to E3 news. My friend, Todd Stashwick, got announced as one of the writers of the Suicide Squad 2. And the reason this is big news is, number one, he's a friend of mine. I know the guy is a purebred geek. I know that he knows what he's talking about, and I know he knows how to write. So the good news is, before it gets through the process of movie making, which could ruin it, we know that there is a good script being written for Suicide Squad 2. So kudos to Todd for getting that job. He did a Star Wars game. I'll have to find out what that is. I'll post it on our stuff. But pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, I lost my E3 news.
Well,
here.
I'm going to say, like, going in, and I think it's great that the more Star Wars we get, the better off we are. But my
say no?
concern, my concern about it is that, you know, it's not as sexy as a lot of the other big explosion games where younger kid, I hate to say the younger generation may not appreciate that as much because, I mean, using a lightsaber is going to be cool, but it's not going to sit there and blow things up from 20 million feet and all that kind of stuff. So it's not going to be you're doing the 64 combo damage from my aspect. But I think it'll be cool that you have a lightsaber because there's really not much more cooler than that. So.
Right. All right, let's see what we got here. BioWare's Anthem release date confirmed. Oh, yep. Anthem is that new one from BioWare. That one looks awesome. It's like their sci-fi one coming out. It launches in February. BioWare's first new IP in 10 years. I don't know if you guys are Dragon Age fans. I love Dragon Age.
Yeah, Dragon Age is pretty awesome.
This is their space one. I'm all about it. You don't know? Of course not. There's reading involved.
I play Super Mario Brothers and Legend of Zelda.
All right.
And I still play those games.
Felicia Day did like a short 3 mini webisode thing on Dragon Age. So
it's so good.
It's really good.
It's a really good story. Let's see. Star Wars: The Jedi Fallen Order game it's Titanfall is developing that.
Right. Same guy.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, that's good news.
Titanfall's really good. So
there's going to be more NBA games and more FIFA games. I'm so shocked. I had no idea those were popular. Unravel 2. I never played this. It's got like some weird red guy. Anyone play Unravel?
No.
Never.
Anyone know what that is?
Yeah, we're out there.
Boy, that's going to be a big hit then, right? Let's see. Battlefield 5, Anthem. It's all the same news over and over. So it must be just too early in E3.
Not a lot's coming out of E3. I mean,
yeah. Although, you know what? That trailer for, what is this one? Fallout 76, that looked cool. Although I don't know. I mean, think about it. They're saying it's after everything is corrected, and now your world being... What if it's just like Fallout The Sims?
I hope not.
It could be, right?
Could be.
If I could disco dance, I'll be in.
You get pets in it. Fallout pets. That'd be terrible.
And then a big tornado comes and kills everybody.
You know, it's terrible because I'm going to spend my money and buy it and play it. I hate myself. Stupid. What else? Yeah, the Xbox press conference hasn't happened. It's really just so far EA and then BioWare with that announcement. Dead or Alive 6. That's what we need. Because breast mechanics have not been pushed forward in years. That's all that game was. Just Cause 4, Hitman 2. Haven't we had like 6 Hitman 2s?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Hitman 2 is coming. Gears of War 5. Shocker. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Okay.
Not excited.
Yep.
Everything you're saying right now is making me disappointed for the gaming
Metroid
world for
Prime
next year.
4.
Excitement.
Yeah.
New Metroid game, of course, but they already announced that, and we're going to get a
I
trailer
know.
for that.
These are
coming
probably
this
going
week.
back. No, these say 22 hours ago.
Yeah, but that was already in the works because the new Metroid game for the Nintendo 3DS is coming out. This will be for the Switch, and which is exciting.
This isn't news. Kingdom Hearts 3, they're just talking about it. Crackdown 3, I don't know if I care. You care?
No.
I don't care. Blah, blah, blah. I just skipped everything. I said Crackdown 3, Fortnite, Switch.
Yeah, they're doing. Did you talk about Battle Royale? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
So they're going to add a Battle Royale feature, but isn't that a Battle Royale anyway? I mean, I don't play it, but isn't it like a big just mosh pit of survival? Or is there a team?
I don't think it's teams.
What,
though.
Fortnite?
Right.
I have never played Fortnite.
neither.
Welcome to the Old Man Podcast.
It's not teams.
No.
So I think that's what they're adding to that
Okay.
feature. So
I know all the kids play it, so.
yeah,
All the kids play
All the
it.
kids that work for me play it all the time.
Not you. Any other
Not
kids
you.
here play Fortnite? Nope.
Anybody paying attention?
You do. That's one. All right.
There you go. Well, there's going to be an updated trailer to the Spider-Man game for the PlayStation 4. The only reason I own a PlayStation 4
Is for Spider-Man?
Is for Spider-Man.
I haven't turned the system on in like 9 months.
Really?
Waiting for Spider-Man.
Come on, Spider-Man.
But the Nintendo Classic is being released on the 29th, which I'm excited about.
And you're in line.
Yeah.
Everybody
already.
wants Mario. I'm taking the day off of work. I'm going to get it.
I thought you had one. A Nintendo
I have the
Classic.
Super Nintendo Classic. I don't have the Nintendo Classic.
Are they going to re-release
I do
the Super
have-
Nintendo?
I do have 3 original Nintendos. I don't know why I need a Classic, but I still need a Classic.
Well, because you don't have to blow the carts on that.
But you like to blow the carts.
Wait, you said carts, right?
Yes, I did say carts.
So, are they going to re-release the Super Nintendo one?
No, because it's still in stores. It's still,
You can still get it?
Yeah, you can still find it.
Okay.
So, and there's rumors now that Nintendo has already started work on the Nintendo 64 Classic.
Yeah, that one I've heard. In fact, there were some leaked
That'd be
photos. Who knows if they're real, but they look pretty good. I mean, it's like, I'd be down with that. Although it depends on the games. When I start going back through my library of Nintendo 64 games, there's a handful that I really liked.
Well, and that's
I loved them, but there was just a
Well,
handful.
more than likely, that's what the system will be. The system will probably be your Mario 64, your few Zelda games, because the thing is these are the games that are owned by Nintendo. I'm not sure if they could pull off the Pikachu, the Pokemon games on there because of some of the quirks to it.
Right.
But I mean, even if they could and they could figure that out, then you're going to get those Pokemon games.
Pokemon Snap seemed so stupid, and it was great. You ever play that
So
one?
I have it. Yeah, I still have it.
It seems so stupid, and I played it, and I was like, why would I want to? Oh, I see why.
Well, it's like
What?
it's Pokemon Go, but only on your TV.
What Zelda was 64? Ocarina?
It was Ocarina and
And
Majora's
Majora's
Mask.
Mask.
'Cause
Both
it might-
really
if
good.
If you can get that, I think it'd be
Well,
worth
that
it.
you'll end up getting probably Mario Party. You'll get Mario Kart.
Right.
So it'll be enough games. I think.
What about Tetris Sphere? Does Nintendo own that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know.
They don't own
Tetris-
Tetris.
Tetris Sphere was one of those games that, once again, you get it and you're like, oh, it's going to be a Tetris game. I got it like $6 at some used thing. I think I played that more than any game I've ever played in my life. That was a
That's because you couldn't
phenomenal
get past
game.
the first 5 minutes. So you
No, man, it's great. You get into all the battle stuff and everything. It was really good. Better than any Tetris game I played.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really good.
I love the original Tetris on
Yeah.
the Game Boy though.
Oh, yeah. Especially that black and white screen. Yeah, I used to play that all the time.
Black and it was green and green. All right. Get
Yes,
it
it was
right.
great. I'm sorry.
Dark green and darker.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved that game.
Yeah.
That and Dr. Mario on there.
Dr.
Did they
Mario
do,
was good.
They do Dr. Mario on the Classic?
It is on the NES Classic.
Did they do a Super NES Dr. Mario?
No.
No.
I don't believe that's on the Classic.
Did they do an N64 Dr. Mario?
They have. I think they have something, but it's not. It's not the same game.
Okay.
It was part of that whole bundle, wasn't it? Something of it. Like you were saying, it wasn't that.
It was like a cartridge with a bunch
Yeah.
of different
The
games.
sequel is called Strung Out Mario. That was a really good one.
Yeah.
It was podcasting, Mario.
Podcasting
Probably.
Mario. What about like WarioWare? Did they put that on there?
It's not on any of the systems yet.
So that's
but
what they need to do is have a Game Boy Classic, but one that you can play on your TV.
Well, there's talks about them releasing a portable Game Boy Classic with 20, 30 games built in. Like a legit working one. Because you can
But it
find
would be
them
a
now.
Game Boy
They're-
size?
Yeah.
Eh.
I think people would buy it.
I don't want to spend $150 for that.
You won't
Right,
have to
you
spend
can-
$150.
Why can't you download that on your phone? I mean,
It's different. The gameplay is not the same on your phone playing Tetris than it is on your.
That's
on
very
the Game
true.
Boy. It is not.
The
The
translation,
D-pad, the mechanics, it doesn't work.
because the
the same.
controls work on the phone. I'm teasing.
the
I
game.
still have an original Game Boy that works great.
I think I got rid of mine. I had a
Right.
Game Boy Advance too. That was
I have that as
I'll be
well.
honest, I never could do it because I just couldn't see it well enough.
You
I mean,
get the light. There's a light.
Yeah, I know.
add-on.
Chris had a thing that popped up on the screen and said, "Your fingers are too fat for this
Yes.
game." Dang it! Phones and Game Boys. I hate these.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what? Now I've
it's
got
true.
to now mine pop up and say your eyes are too old for this
Yes.
game. I got to buy the XL. Do you have a double XL? Because could you
You're-
make it the laptop size? Because I'm having trouble.
Your fast twitch
That's why,
muscles aren't fast.
That's why I love the Nintendo Switch. It's pretty big.
Yes.
And
See,
it's
now we haven't
portable.
done that yet. And you talk about how great it is, but I only see a handful of games.
There's a lot of games.
A handful of games I'd buy.
Well, it's only been out a year.
So I'm waiting.
There'll be more.
I just got a Wii U, and I got all like 12 games that I wanted, and they're awesome.
And that's all you need.
And I'm out.
There you go.
And
Now get a Switch.
Yeah, I will. Wait for that to go down in price. I'm the cheap-ass gamer. I like to wait until it's like, down to
Free.
20% of its original cost. Free is
$2,000.
always good. I got my N64 for free. A friend of mine was like, "Oh, I don't want any more. You want it?" Sure. I must have had, I don't know, 75 games for that. I had a
For
huge
free,
library.
that's awesome.
Nice.
No, I would go into these used places and I'd go through the bins, and as soon as you
$2,
find the $2 ones, I'd be like, I'll buy them all. Stupid NHL, kept buying that stupid game. Take it right back. Terrible.
Best
So-
NHL game was for Super Nintendo. NHL 94.
Ooh,
Plays
yeah.
the Blackhawks.
Yes.
Jeremy Roenick, triple D.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
That was a really, really
Good
good one.
times.
That was the first one that had did that have behind the over the shoulder camera view?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else we got? We did video games.
I don't know.
What about Star Trek? Well, there's no news. We got to talk
What
about
about
the
Harry
news.
Potter? So
In the news today, Star Trek is Star Trek, Star Trek.
We love
And-
Star Trek.
And Chris Pine. And Captain Kirk.
You prefer
There
the
we go.
shows or the movies?
But you're an original series type of gal? Original and Next Generation.
Is that
Do you know-
why you're here?
You know what?
We got LeVar over there.
I got to tell you something. This podcast has now become about this woman right here. So some friends of mine own. You can listen in if you want. Some friends of mine own the only science fiction and fantasy theater in the world. It's in Chicago. It's called the Otherworld Theater. Okay, and they're awesome. My daughter is dressed. Did people cheer for me? No. My daughter is dressed as Sailor Moon right now because they do Sailor Moon Live, and it's amazing. It's amazing. But they also just did their Juggernaut Film Festival, which is a sci-fi short film festival. You're going to want to see this picture if I can ever pull this up while I'm talking. The guest presenter, the host this year, was Gates McFadden. And my friends spent 3 days getting loved up by Gates McFadden, who they said was the best person ever.
what? I don't know who Beverly Crusher from Next Generation.
Yep, on Labyrinth, yep. So yeah, we talked about, I didn't get to meet her. I wasn't there, I was too busy, which is kind of a bummer. I would have loved to have been there for the movies and loved to seen, where is this? She has pictures on here, and I can't find them. I want to show you one that's going to make you super jealous. And then we'll go back to being for everybody here.
And I love her and her character, but even though she was replaced for a year in the series.
Here's Tiffany
No.
getting loved up by Gates McFadden. Yep. Follow Otherworld Theater. They're awesome. And then you'll also get a little Star Trek love on there. See?
Yes.
All right, back to everybody.
Back to what's going on.
So is there any
what's
other
coming?
news?
What movies are coming out in the next few months? I have no idea. Is there anything, or are we done with summer?
No, we got The Incredibles coming out. We've
Oh
got
my gosh, that
Jurassic
looks
World
so
2
good.
coming out.
Now, do you guys think Jurassic World 2 looks good?
You know what? I like that they're going with kind of a horror aspect with it. I like the change. And some... Exactly. I do think they're going into that. They're going to Crichton's original vision of it. And they needed to. I mean, how many times can we go to the park or to the island? How many morons are going to this island to get eaten? But it's just I wanted to see a change, and from the early reviews coming out for it, it looks like we're going to get a change.
Good.
This movie is going to change the course of wherever they go with these further. If they go any further with these Jurassic World movies or whatever they're going to end up calling them.
They've said it's a trilogy. They said there's one more sure.
Then for sure we'll get that. So I'm excited to see it. I do like that it's scary. My kids, I take them to the theater all the time. My girls do not seem to be very excited about this, especially with that one dinosaur creeping into the bedroom. I think that really got to them, which is good. They're going to go see it. I don't care.
I don't care.
They're going.
Sorry.
Yeah, you close your mouth over there. I know.
Daddy's going to get a dinosaur mask, and he's coming in.
We have a Goldblum sighting, don't we, in this one?
Yeah.
Yep. Goldblum chewing up the scenery will be great as always.
Makes it worth it. So he may be horrendous.
Yeah, and I'm hoping it's more than just that. I'm hoping he gets more involved, but I don't know.
Yeah, if it's really just Lost World 2 without the gymnastics, I'm not going to be thrilled.
I will be upset for that. I will be if they go rehash that
because it kind of
even though
there's elements in the trailer that look like that.
It does, and even though Jurassic World was good and fun and it made a ton of money,
other than gymnastics scene,
if you go back,
so bad.
If you go back and watch it again, it kind of reminds me of The Force Awakens. It's a real a reboot of the series in a way because it's kind of copying the original movie. I've read them all.
Right.
Oh, okay. So.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Well, and I think that's some of the problems, especially selling these stories out when they're not complete, because then you're I think George R.R. Martin might be feeling this pressure now with Game of Thrones, trying to complete it and trying to, yes, they're going off script and they're doing their own thing, but then trying to kind of tie things together. Some of it doesn't always mesh with what you're thinking about while you're writing, and it's not your story then.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's
So we just in Geek Tastic Cage Match brought up Game of Thrones. We didn't talk about it on This Week in Geek though.
No.
There is a pilot order given for a prequel. So they're ending Game of Thrones, not according to the books because the last book's not out.
Right.
So they're making up their own ending, and which is kind of like Game of Thrones fanfic, and then which means that Mulder, Scully, and Dorian Gray or whatever his name is are going to show. I'm kidding. It's fanfic. But they're going and doing a prequel that is not based on any books, and it's set, 1,000 years in the future or past?
In the past. Yeah.
Past, yeah.
Prequel, right. Get it. So people are like, oh, great. We're going to get more Daenerys. She's not 1,000.
No.
We are not. And really, do you want it a prequel to Daenerys' story where she's like 10?
If they could explain the White Walkers and do the stuff across, and I can't think of the name. I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry. I'm really, really tired.
Yeah, show us why the wall. Show us all the details.
And then how
of
some
that.
of the houses kind of split up and what happened. And
Yes.
I think that would be really cool. And if it was when dragons, there were dragons there for a long time, and show some of that, and
it
go to
could be
Bravos
really
and
cool.
do all that stuff and see some of that history behind those places. That was great. because they just kind of gloss over them. In the books, they explain a lot more.
Actually, what would be cool is if it kind of took a Conan-esque feel to it, where it's more barbarian. Like, I think that would be really cool.
Well,
as the New Age is,
and that's what
coming
happens
in.
with like the Dothraki. I mean, the Dothraki are the barbarians of that world,
right? But now make it, instead of the barbarians being in their one segment, it's mostly barbarians, and you're pushing up against the evolution of the society.
Well, the big bad has always been the White Walkers, so they've kind of existed, and you know that the whole Westerosian thing has been around for a couple of thousand years. So it'll be nice to see what they do, because there is a lot out there that they could do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for it. I want to see it. So, Alil, you brought up yesterday Kick-Ass. Did we talk about this on the air?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think we did. Yeah, so it's getting a reboot. I don't know why.
I don't know why they're doing a reboot.
It's too soon. I mean, people complain about how many Batman reboots and Spider-Man. Like, Kick-Ass is like very new, and
what,
I would have liked to see more of a Hit Girl spinoff with a new Hit Girl and tell a different story. I think that's the way they should have gone with it. Follow kind of some of those comics that they're doing, rather than start with Kick-Ass again and introducing Hit Girl. But I think that's why they want it. They want to bring in a younger cast.
But wait a minute, I'm reading this right here, and it actually says, even though it's a reboot, I think it's a misnomer here, because they said they have not said for sure whether it is going to involve the Dave Lazuski character, which is Kick-Ass.
Oh, wow.
So they might be doing a reboot of the Kick-Ass universe, I guess. Maybe they'll tell the story of Big Daddy. Maybe they'll focus there. They're calling it this.
Bring back Nick Cage.
But no, that's what I mean. Is they're going to start at a new point.
Yeah.
Tell a different story. Maybe tell the story of the other superheroes or whatever. You know?
Yeah. That'd be kind of interesting, though. If they went that way, I would like that.
Now, I got a question. For Kick-Ass, is that owned by, if Disney gets Fox, is that a Fox film?
I don't think they own the film rights. I think it's under Millar. I think he still owns the rights. I think that's...
Because Fox owns Kingsman, right? Which is Millar.
Again, they don't own it. I think it's kind of like they don't own like Fantastic Four outright, you know.
Right, but they have the rights to do it. So if Disney gets Fox, they have the property.
I don't know how the contracts work. I don't. They could, but I don't think so. I think it still falls under Millar's umbrella, and I think if it gets bought or sold,
they could shop it around and do whatever they want with it.
I really do think that's going to happen.
And if Spawn's a big deal, people are going to be looking at Millar then too, going, let's get this train going, just like they are with Spawn and with any of these guys that are not Marvel or DC characters.
Right. You will see a lot of that, because you're going to see.
Is there a Kingsman 3 coming?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, we got to wrap up. That was it.
All right.
So thank you guys for listening to This Week in Geek. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, all those places. Follow us on Twitter at SMG_Twig, TWIG. Find us on Facebook. That's where we're most active. We post all this geek news and make comments and all that. And then you can also find us occasionally on a show called Live at the Blue Box, where we do this and we do a lot of other stuff. My Twitter is at @RSouthgate. The company Twitter is at SMGPods. Go ahead, Alil.
You can follow me at the League of Geeks. That's Geeks with a Z at LOGEEKZ on Twitter.
And I can be found at theblueboxcafe.com or Blue Box Cafe on social media.
And at 5 o'clock, join me in room 109. You want to be a podcaster, you got questions, even if you're seasoned and you just want to talk podcasting. I'm in there doing Podcasting 101. I'm talking social media. I'm talking marketing. I'm talking all that stuff, but I can also hit on the bases too. So hit me up in room 105 or 109 at 5 o'clock. Chris is going to be there. Alil will be asleep. That's it, everybody. Thank you.
Enough said.